Okay. Now, whoops, while we're doing this, let's stop here. Let's put it neutral. Put the parking brake on. Let's turn around over here and let's go out to our Rand McNally. Let's look at our map here. Now, where are we going to go? I think we picked up... Yep, see, there's the recruitment agency. We're not going to go there. There's the recruitment agency, and there's the Peterbilt guy. So we're going to come back out here. That looks good. That looks good. We're going to go right on up here, turn left, and then come out here and hit I-5. I-5, we're going to cut through, what town? Carlsbad. We're going to cut through Carlsbad. Okay, I don't see any question marks or anything, so since we ain't got no deliveries or anything in Carlsbad, we'll just keep on just trucking. As long as we can stay on the interstate, we're going to stay on the interstate. And then here we come up to L.A. Ooh, in L.A. we got to go all the way up to that side of L.A. We're going to be coming across land we've been in before. You'll see once we get up here, we're on these yellow stuff, so we're almost home. We're almost back to where our home is, you know? Because we live right up here in Barstow. We might circle back up yonder way. Hopefully we'll get something from L.A. to Barstow, and we'll get home, and we'll go see Bubba and Dwayne Skeeter and give Cousin Peanut a call and all that. So heck yeah. Let's see here. I think we will circle right down here, and we're going to see the Kenworth. We are not, I don't think, going to come. Yeah, why don't we? Why don't we just come on down through here and go through L.A. while we're at it, too? We'll skip that little bit right there, but look at, oh, I was going to say, look at all this. Yeah, look at all this that we'll pick up right here. That's going to be some interesting driving. But we'll see how it is. Sure, we'll take that. Oh, and then we got another thing way over here, and so we'd have to go from there, and then we'd have to go here. Let's, at the moment, plan that. I think we might have to make another sleep spot somewhere along here, but we'll see. We might have to sleep again when we get to Carlsbad, but we'll see how it goes.
Calculating route.
Good Lord, we almost got the entire...
Please proceed to highlighted route.
We've almost got the entire first episode done, and we ain't even left with the trailer yet. We're getting to the point where if y'all watch this show and watch all these episodes, it's definitely a case of y'all just like hearing me talk. Or maybe, just maybe, y'all like hearing me sing. Maybe y'all like to hear me sing? Y'all want to hear something? Y'all want to hear a song? Well, I might have to sing something for you.
Left.
So if we get something, if something comes up and it makes sense for us to sing it, we'll sing you a song. So we'll sing you a song. We'll sing out loud. We'll sing out strong. We won't worry about it's not good enough for anyone else to hear, because it never is, because we couldn't carry a tune in a bucket if our life depended on it. But we'll sing.
200.
Sing a song.
Turn right.
See, y'all stay tuned. We might get around to singing a song at some point. Now, woo. That's one thing about California. You used to not see this stuff in California. You know, people used to be able to smoke and all that kind of stuff. But it's funny seeing people have to go outside and smoke and all that. There was Eddie Izzard had a big thing about it. He talked about it at one point where he said, you know, you can't even smoke in a bar in California anymore. He said, be careful, California. He said, you know, y'all used to have the reputation for being the crazy wild state, and said now you can't even smoke in the bars and restaurants, and you can't even smoke in a bar anymore. So it's like y'all gonna lose y'all's reputation. Y'all gonna end up just being as square as everybody else. Yep, let me make sure we got our brights turned off. We'll head on out this way. Looks like all the nightlife is coming out. What we got? It's almost 8 o'clock in the evening. We're looking at 78 degrees. We managed to get through that Get through that light, okay? We ain't gonna be speeding too much through
In
here.
200 yards, turn left.
Because we are still ice cream truck! Ice cream truck! We are still down here in downtown.
Turn left.
Land of all the signals, the traffic signals and all that. I think once we get out on the interstate, once we got out of town, we will look at calling this an episode. And we'll put in a save. And that way y'all will have gotten a song. Y'all gotten a song in the very first episode. Now y'all sit there and go, oh my God, is he going to sing again? Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll have to see if we'll have a treat every single episode or whether y'all just got the bonus first viewer special, you know, for basically watching this episode and having the equivalent of going first. Now, come on up here. And that's assuming that this makes the first episode, you know. If it doesn't, well, I guess y'all just be getting songy seconds. We're almost on the interstate. Oh, look at that neon saguaro cactus there on the side of the hotel.
In 200 yards, turn right.
Turn right.
Turn right.
Leaving San Diego. Y'all have heard of Leaving Las Vegas. We're making our own movie, Leaving San Diego. Alrighty, so right there I think is where we're going to put in the stop. And when we come back, we'll be going down this exit ramp. Alright everybody, welcome back. We are coming down the exit ramp here. Seeing if we can merge on into the traffic. We're going to follow the highway on up here. And we got, I think, a good ways to go here. I think, didn't we say this was I-5? I see them trucks back there trying to decide if they want to pass us. They pull out and start passing us, and then they decide that maybe we're going fast enough after all, and they start pulling back. Our speed limit's still 55. It's gonna be another beautiful sunset out here in the desert regions of Southern California. Now, let's see if we can't just keep it on the road. And we're not raining for once. Have y'all noticed that? It's the first time in several episodes that I think that we ain't started this thing in the rain. I'm glad to have y'all along with me. We're going to have a good little trip and all that as we go on along. As soon as we get through all this traffic, we got some stuff to talk about too, you know. One thing is I want to talk about, there's a trucker I watch. His name's Indiana Jack. And he does, you know, trucking and stuff like that going on. And I'll tell you right now, I've discovered from watching him that truckers complain as much as nurses do. They really, really do. Because he sits there and he talks about this, that, and the other, and he loves talking about the government. He loves talking about how the government's coming in. It's always getting there. He ain't no right-wing quacker, though. He ain't no, quack job. He is right-wing. He is conservative, but he's a real laid-back. He's real laid-back, and I'm sure he's a right-winger and stuff like that. You know, you can tell he's conservative, but he ain't one of the nut job, conservatives that you see out there. And
left.
That's what we're gonna do. He ain't one of that particular breed. Let's just pull this up. Just take a look. Yep, we're full of fuel, and we got an empty bed, so we are good to go. That's a shame. We always got an empty bed, so what can I say? Oh well. Anywho, But yeah, he sits there and you know, he doesn't make any.
Keep left.
He hardly ever talks. He doesn't hardly ever talk about politics. But you can talk, you know, about his from his views on, you know, social stuff. That he is a conservative. But yeah, he sits there and he talks about the government a lot. How like electronic logs, you know, now that truckers don't have the paper logs anymore. They switched. Everybody switched over to electronics 2 years ago, back in 2017. And they're not only that. Not only is it electronic, the electronic logs are attached to your, they're hooked up to your engine. So it's not only are you required to keep track of it on an electronic like device, you're not only just keeping track of whether you're driving or whether you're off duty or whether you're sleeping or whether you're like in a holding pattern.
Keep left.
You're not only required to keep track of all that, but the device is now hooked up to your engine, so it tattletales on you. If you're sitting there and you record that between 11 o'clock at night and 6 a.m. you were sleeping in your sleeper, and the electronic device says that you traveled 600 miles, that's not good. You know, that's showing that you falsifying your records and stuff like that, like people used to do on the paper stuff. And he'll sit and he talks about that, how, you know, it's like the little nanny thing and all that going on. But then he'll also sit there, and it's something I noticed, you know, I've discovered there's an awful lot of people that go into nursing, like what I am. You know, they go in for nursing from, you know, it's like their second career. For instance, you know, I went to school and I came out and I was an artist, and I did the whole artist thing for a long time, and I had a studio where I did my paintings, and I had my day job. I had my day job where I sat there and, you know, I worked as a tech in a pharmacy, and I counted pills and did prescriptions and all that all day. But, you know, my night job was I'd get home and I'd do paintings, and then I'd go find places to do shows and that sort of stuff. Had several shows in some of the smaller, you know, bar galleries kind of stuff.
Right, then immediately exit right.
No, a lot of the bars and cafes and stuff
Exit
like that
right.
also have,
In 200 yards, turn
you know,
left.
like having paintings and stuff like that
Turn left.
up on their walls and things. Now, that's another case right there. Well, we probably should have stopped, but we were already rolling up so fast and there was nothing coming the other way, so we'll just, you know, the real police didn't get us, so the internet popo will have to get us for not making that stop. That was our fault. Now, why were we swinging up here? Let's stop right here just a second. I'm gonna look over here on my map. Why were we coming up this way again? Oh yeah, we swung up instead of, we're here. Wow, Lord, we here to Los Angeles already? Wow. I can't believe we made that much time. Look at all that distance we've covered. We came up this way because we wanted to grab this Kenworth dealer, didn't we? Let's make sure we pick it up there. And then we're going to come up this way too, and come all the way up that way. Alrighty. I wish we could just drop it off at that Staples instead of having to go one all the way on the other side of town, but we're not going to the other side. We picked it up at Staples, didn't we? Yep, we picked it up at Staples, and we're going to Walgreens. You know, we might hit 10% before this is over. Let's see how it goes. And we got a place up here we can sleep if we need to, and we got another fuel station up there at the Texaco. So, all right, so we know what we're doing. Let's hope that we get close enough to that Kenworth coming up on the left.
Calculating route. Please proceed to highlighted route.
That's what we're doing. We're speeding it on up here again. Now, is that going to be a Kenworth? There's the Kenworth right over there on the left. Are we going to get close enough? I'm going to go nice and slow here, so if it doesn't pick it up, we can pull on in there if we have to. go ahead and turn my blinker on just so that if we have to pull in there, we can. Yeah, don't look like it picks. Whoop. Let's not get a traffic light violation while we're at it either. Anything coming? I'd love to make a left on red here. Nothing coming. Let's pull on in here and make sure we pick this one up, because there's a question mark on our map. There we go. Kenworth dealer discovered. That was a bit jinky there. That was a little bit shady maneuver we did there, but we got it, and that's what counts. There ain't no cops around, so couldn't nobody road work ahead. Let's remember that. Wasn't nobody around that could give us a ticket or anything for it, so now we need to keep going this way and pick up whatever that is. I think a recruitment agency or something on the other side of town. Let's remember the speed limit through here is 30. When you get down them low numbers, you always got the danger of us speeding. But yeah, so I was talking about him and talking about the government and how the government's mandating this and mandating that. But just like those truckers that I work with or used to work with, you know, they sit there and they tell you, they talk about, you know, the days of trucking and stuff like that, and they tell you, yeah, we were doing caffeine and speed and all that kind of stuff, and said there were some days we drive for 24 hours. We drive 24 hours, and one of them was saying, yeah, there was one day I drove for 30 hours, you know, and I just marked it on my, put it down on my log that I, you know, gotten the sleep time and all that, but said I just drove right on through it because it was a paper log, and they just had to take you at your word and all, unless they caught you otherwise. So it was one of those cases like that where it's like, well, you know, y'all can complain about the electronic logs and them being hooked up to the engine, but you did it to yourself. You know, you done it to yourself and all that. And the other thing he talks about, and he'll say stuff like that occasionally. You know, he thinks it's gone overboard, and he recognizes that. He recognizes that, yeah, it was the, you know, abuse of the logs kind of messed it up for everybody. But even he talked about how he's even admitted once that, you know, he was up for about 24 hours on the job once before. But the logs didn't show it, but he admits that he did that once or twice. And the other thing he'll talk about is he'll sit there and he'll tell you how he'll sit there and he'll talk about how a lot of these shopping centers, how you used to be able to park at Walmart at night and some of these other malls and stuff like that, and none of them all got these signs up now that say no overnight parking or no truck parking and that kind of thing. And he said how bad that is, but how it's just making the where can we find parking situation even worse. But once again, he'll sit there and then he's got the forthwithal and the righteous upstanding, you know, ability to sit and talk about, yeah, that once again it is a case where, you know, folks kind of screwed it up for everybody. Because he said it's a shame, and said don't know where we've got such a shortage of parking that, you know, we used to be able to park in places like Walmart lots and all that overnight. It's a shame we don't, but said, yeah, it's another case of bad apples, where it says, you know, all you got to do is all you got to do is have a few bad apples to leave all their trash and their piss bottles sitting in the parking lot for a week or so. Walmart has to send their people out to pick up a bunch of trash and piss bottles from all the truckers who were there overnight. And then began to understand why Walmart doesn't want people, why these malls and stuff don't want truckers parking in their parking lot overnight. You know, if they got to spend all this time cleaning up after them, it's because they're a bunch of disgusting pigs that can't pick up after themselves. But the one that he doesn't seem to have any self-awareness of is the one where he'll sit there and he talks about food, and he talks about the government nanny state, and says, you know, it's a shame. Says because the government and because of all these regulated hours, and we're always trying to beat the clock and all that. Says we can't just sit there. And, you know, so many of these truck stops got like sit down, 11 o'clock at night. So they got sit down restaurants and stuff like that built into them, and said you you can't go in and eat because you ain't got no time. You're trying to beat the clock. He said, you ain't got no time to go in and eat. So I'm always sitting here just eating a sandwich in my truck because I can't got no time to eat. I can't get no time to eat. You know, said they cut our hours down that we can drive so much that we don't ever have a chance to do it. And then 20 seconds later, you'll see him pull it up, and he says, "All righty, well, we arrived here at the receiving plant 3 hours early." And that's the thing, he does that so often. It is so often. It's like every video, he'll make 5-6 deliveries. Now, y'all should see some places here. If you play GTA, you ought to see some places recognized here, like that parking garage there ought to look pretty darn familiar. I've hidden out from police helicopters in that parking garage there many a time. But yeah, that's the one point where he doesn't seem to have any self-awareness of, is that he'll talk about how he's constantly having to eat like sandwiches, the truck stop sandwiches and stuff in the cab of his truck because he doesn't have time to stop and actually sit down and eat anywhere. And then a short while later on that very delivery, he's talking about how he's showing up at the receiving center 2 hours or 3 hours early. And it's like, I'm detecting a trend here that you might just want to look into. You might want to consider it. All right, we're still working our way through LA. That's why I didn't really want to come down through LA, like driving through any of these other cities, You'll notice there's a reason why you get these freeways and these bypasses that, why they're called bypasses, because you like to bypass all this. Don't no trucker like to be in the downtown on these surface streets having to deal with all the little cars and the people parked here and especially all the traffic lights. Don't nobody want to deal with all these traffic lights and the start and stop. I mean, that kills your fuel economy.
200 yards, turn right. Turn right.
Oh, we're going to stop it in time. We stopped it in time. That's good, because that gives us a second to sit here. 6.5 miles a gallon. Let's go ahead. I think we can should be able to make a right on red here. Glad we don't seem to be heading straight on down to the beach there. Must have had a turn signal from the other direction. Boy, you whipped it on there past me like that. But yeah, he doesn't seem to have a whole bunch of awareness there of self-awareness of how it just seemed to be contradicting himself. Because almost every episode he'll sit there and he's arriving
Keep
at the
left,
receiver so much early. Now we're going to stop at this light up here, and I'm going to take a look at our map again.
Turn left.
Let's take a look at our Rand McNally. And let's take a look here and see where we are.